So welcome everyone, for Jessica who's here now, and oh, I think there's another participant just joined me as well. Great. Miriam. Hi Miriam. Great that you're here. You can just say hi if you want to in the chat box, but I'm gonna kick off. Yeah, so my name is Stephanie Parker, and I am a certified, hi Steph, hi Miriam, great you can hear me. I'm a certified hand-in-hand instructor, and I live in Stroud in Gloucestershire in the United Kingdom. So just want to say welcome to you, you know, and as I say welcome to you, I'm welcoming all the people that are going to listen to this later as well, because I imagine there are going to be some few people listening to it later. So whether you're here now or whether you watch and listen to it later, just really want to appreciate that you've taken this time to get some support for your parenting. I know it's not easy to get time out at all when you're a parent, so just really want to appreciate you for that. So to begin with, I'm going to just talk a little bit about hand-in-hand parenting, and then I'm going to talk for I'll probably talk for about 20 minutes altogether, depends how fast I talk. So I'll talk a little bit about hand-in-hand parenting, then I'm going to talk about aggression and play, bringing play to aggression, and then there's going to be some time to do Q&A. So I will ask people to raise their hands if you've got a question, and you can ask it to me. Yeah, great. And I'll be wrapping up at about 5 to the hour. 5 to 12 if you're in the UK, but 5 to the hour wherever you are. Great, so hand-in-hand parenting is a US public benefit organisation, and it benefits parents by helping parents when parenting gets hard. And it does this in 4 main ways. So there are 4 main ideas behind hand-in-hand parenting. And how we support parents is by giving them good information, a set of great tools, and lots of support. Support is really crucial to parents for them to be able to do their job well, and the vital work that we do as parents. So number 1 is, so we parents need and we deserve good support for our parenting. We really need and deserve that. And by building that support, which is what we want to help you do, it's going to help you be much more successful as a parent, and it's going to help your kids too, to meet their needs and to meet your needs. So number 2 is that our children are born to be connected to us. From the moment they're born, their brains are completely wired to be in connection with us, and this sense of connection is what they need in order to grow, to learn, to develop, to learn new things, to make friendships, all of those things. They need connection. They need to feel connected to us, to build resilience and confidence as they grow. And number 3, when children don't feel connected to us, their behavior goes off track, and then they signal for us to help them. And number 4 is that there are tools that we're going to share with you that you can use to reconnect with your kids, and so that they can leave their difficult behaviors behind. So hand-in-hand parenting strengthens this bond and connection between parent and children. That's what we're all about. And rebuild it and strengthen it. That enables us to be then successful in the way we love our children. Like all parents, we completely love our children, but these tools help us be really successful in giving them that love in a way that really helps children thrive in their life. Okay, so that's a little bit about hand-in-hand parenting. And now I'm going to talk a bit about aggression. So although aggression isn't inevitable in every child, it is very, very common. And almost all parents have a really hard time when their children become aggressive. You know, I can still remember one of my close friends when our children were just 1.5, 2, and her son, everywhere she went, every group she went to, he would bite another child. And I just remember how hard that was for her. Like that, you know, she actually wanted to stop going to groups because that was just so hard. That could be really hard for parents, whether it's at home or in public. And parents can feel bad about it. They can feel embarrassed. They can feel ashamed. They can feel like it's all their fault. They can feel like it's their kids' fault. All these feelings are completely normal when our children become aggressive. So the good news is that it's never your fault. It's not your fault. I really want you to take that in. It's not your fault when your children become aggressive. And it's not your children's fault either. It's no one's fault. No one's to blame. And there is something we can do about it. That's the good news. You know, it doesn't have to continue. So the hand-in-hand philosophy is that children are naturally good, loving, kind, cooperative. That's how they're born. That's how they grow up. That's their natural state of being. However, a child's limbic part of the brain, their limbic brain, which is the social and emotional part of the brain, can get overwhelmed by hurt feelings, and then it loses this sense of connection, and then that's when they go off track. So what happens is that their prefrontal cortex part of the brain, which is the part of the brain that is rational, it controls good judgment, good decision making. It's the part of the brain that knows that hitting your sibling is not a good idea. What happens is that when the limbic brain is flooded with these feelings, overwhelmed by these feelings, the prefrontal cortex part of the brain literally closes down. It's not working anymore. It's just shut. So a child forgets that they're not supposed to hit their sibling or call their friend mean words, or, you know, scribble on the walls or whatever they do, you know. They literally forget that because that part of their brain isn't accessible to them. So they lose their impulse control and they can become aggressive. That's one of the ways they can go off track. They can become aggressive. So often at those times, we try and reason with our kids, you know. We try and reason with them. You know, you're not supposed to hit your sibling. Stop hitting your sibling. Why are you hitting your sibling? You know, why? You know, asking them why, or, or just trying to reason with them, or just trying to, or we might just keep shouting at them to stop, and they won't. And we get more and more frustrated. Why aren't they listening to us? You know, I'm asking them to stop hitting their brother and they're not. So we can get really frustrated. So this method that we sometimes use can leave us feeling not unheard, frustrated, and all of that. So it doesn't go too well. So luckily we've got another way to do it. So underneath, yeah, just to say, underneath a child's aggression is mostly a scared child. So that's one of our little mottos is that an aggressive child is a scared child. So underneath their aggression, they're normally feeling scared. And it might not look like this. You might think, well, hang on a minute, we were having a really nice day. There's nothing to be scared about, and then suddenly they got aggressive. What's going on? And well, they don't really look like they care to me. They're actually laughing. They just hit their sibling or their baby brother, and now they're laughing. That, it doesn't look like they're scared or they care to me. But what we know is that when these fears overtake a child, it actually turns their heart cold, because what comes with fear is a sense of isolation. I'm on my own. So their heart actually goes cold in those moments, and they can't remember how much they care. So what I want to say is that our children are good through and through. Even when they're being aggressive, they're still good. And they're signaling they need our help. Yeah, so I want to say just Okay, so you might think, well, what causes these hurts, disconnections and fears? Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to say, I'm not sure if I was looking at my notes, if I was going to say it later, but yeah, so the other thing is that what I just said is that you might think, well, hang on a minute, my child doesn't look scared, you know, there's nothing to be scared about. Well, actually, the fears might be old fears. Often they're old fears that are laying dormant in their memory and that get triggered. They get triggered by something. So yeah, so it might not have been a fear that's going on currently in the present, but they might have got triggered, and we don't know what triggers. You know, it could be lots of things can trigger us. It could be the way someone speaks, something they see. So yeah, some of these fears are old fears. It could be dealing with old fears. Mostly it is that way as well, unless, you know, you're actually dealing with something in the present. Yeah. So some of the events in a child's life that might leave them with some big fears are a difficult birth trauma, medical treatment or intervention, family tension, sudden change in their lives. The adults in their lives, maybe they're unhappy, they're stressed. The limbic part of the brain, which is the social emotional part of the brain, is non-verbal. So their limbic brain can read what's going on in our limbic brain all the time. So when we're really stressed and sad, our children can pick that up. And it always reminds me of a time when my partner was finishing his PhD when my daughter was about 3 or 4, and he was really quite stressed. He was writing up his thesis, and he was his dissertation. He was very stressed by it. And my daughter would be playing happily, and then as soon as my partner walked through the door with all this kind of stress and tension that he was carrying, my daughter would immediately go off track because she could sense that things weren't well with her dad, and that made her, you know, feel scared. So the absence of loved ones, that can cause fears, disconnections, and friendship difficulties. You know, when they go to school, the teacher might tell them off, that might frighten them. You know, dogs often frighten kids. They run up to them, bark. So yeah, I'm sure you can think about many other things that can scare your children. So again, the good news is that all of these things can be healed from, and the limbic brain has an inbuilt mechanism to heal. It's amazing. And it's messy though. It's amazing and it's messy because the way children heal from these hurts and disconnections is through having big, messy feelings. So crying loudly, raging, trembling, tantruming, laughing. Don't leave laughter out. Laughter is a really great release for children from tensions and fears, and that's what we're going to look at later a little bit. So yeah, so this is the way the limbic brain heals itself. But however, you know, our society is not conditioned to listen to children's big feelings. Right from the word go, we're taught to soothe and stop our children's feelings. And I was amazed when my daughter was born 10 years ago. I don't think I said that, by the way. My daughter is 10 years, and I've been doing hand-in-hand parenting since she was born, pretty much. And teaching this. Sorry, should have said that in the introduction. Teaching this for about 6 years. So when my daughter was born, everyone said to me, "Is she a good baby?" It's like, a good baby? What do you mean? How could she be a good baby? I didn't really know what they meant. And what they meant was, does she cry? Does she cry? So if she didn't cry very much, she'd be a good baby. But if she did cry, she wouldn't be a good baby. And I found this quite shocking, actually. And I used to get quite annoyed with people to keep asking me if she was a good baby. So yeah, we're conditioned to stop the children's feelings. They're big, aren't they? They're big, they're raw, they're loud, they're difficult for us. I admit that, they're difficult. They can be difficult for us adults to hear them, which is partly why, because we had all our feelings stopped when we were kids, and then it's quite hard to listen to our feelings, our children when they have big feelings. So yeah, so because we've been conditioned to stop our children crying, these hurts often just lay dormant in their memories, ready to surface again, and this is why they get triggered and our children start to become off track. So hand in hand, all of Hand in Hand's tools are brilliant for working with aggression. And in the moment when your child becomes aggressive, the thing to do is maybe not to be playful. It is actually just to physically get in there and stop the aggressive behavior. Bring a warm, loving limit. Put your hand, if they're kicking their sibling, put your hand on their leg to stop them from kicking and say, sweetie, I can't let you do that. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you hurt your sibling. Keep it really simple, and if they're feeling safe and ready to go, they might just have a big cry, but she hurt me, and then we do stay listening. That's one of our tools, is we just stay and listen to their feelings and know that is what's the healing. They're going to heal from that. They're going to heal that fear, that hurt, what's going on through our listening. Now, I'm not going to go too much into these tools at the moment because I'm going to really focus on the play listening. So that might be enough to stop the aggression. But often what you find with aggression is that either they won't release these feelings because they're not feeling safe enough at that time. So they might stop the aggression, and then a couple of minutes later, they might just start it all over again. They might start hitting their sibling again. So it just continues. And in these times, this is when playfulness is brilliant to bring. So play listening is one of our tools. And it's basically about using laughter to relieve tensions and fears. It's about working out what makes your child laugh, doing more of it. You as the parent and the adult get to take the less powerful role, and your child gets to be in charge, gets to take the more powerful role. And this is a great antidote to children's lives, because children do often feel they're the less powerful, they don't get to make choices that they want, they are not as able, not as skillful at things, they often feel all those things. So play listening actually gives them the chance to feel the opposite. You get to be the one that's kind of unskillful and weak and loses, and it's hilarious to children. They absolutely love play listening. This is the tool that took me the longest to get to grips with, but it's actually the one that I've had the most transformation in my family with. It's absolutely brilliant. And roughhousing is also part of play listening. When we rough and tumble with our kids, when we wrestle or sock fight or pillow fight, again, always looking. You want to match them, so you don't want to just be like really weak and roll over if that's no fun for them. But you don't want to overpower them, so you always make sure they have the upper hand and they win. So I'm going to give you a little example of how I used play listening when my daughter was 3.5 and she started becoming aggressive. So when she was 3.5, my daughter started kindergarten, and up until then, we were pretty much glued to each other 24/7. I was a stay-at-home mum, I was breastfeeding, baby wearing, we were really, really, really close. And then when she was 3.5, she went to kindergarten. Now, she took a couple of days to settle, but then she seemed fine. She was happy to go. She was happy when I picked her up. There wasn't any resistance. She went in happily. 3 mornings a week. But after a little while, I can't remember how long it was, maybe a few weeks, maybe not that long, she started to bite and pinch me regularly, like a lot. And I was like, I was quite shocked actually, because my sweet little girl had never shown any signs of aggression before. You know, she'd had tantrums, but she'd never shown aggression towards me. So it was quite shocking. So, you know, so I did listening time on it. That's another one of our tools. If I don't talk all about these tools, you can find all about them in the, you know, I haven't got time to go over all the tools today, but you can find lots of links and articles on our website about them. So listening time is a tool for parents when we get support for ourselves. So I did listening time on it. I set limits, I listened to her feelings, but none of it was working. I mean, it all worked a little bit, but the aggression was continuing. So one evening, I decided the next morning, I don't know, I was watching, I think I watched a video that Patty had made about how to play listen in a rough house with a child that's being aggressive. So I decided the night before, right, that's what I'm going to do tomorrow morning. And we were still co-sleeping at that time. And she would just, as soon as she woke up, she would pinch me or bite me, like the moment she woke. And I think that's quite normal because, you know, sleep in itself is a long separation for children to be away from their parents. So feelings can often really bubble up in the morning. So the next morning I was prepared. So she woke up and I was ready for this pinch or this bite. And I think what's hard is when we don't prepare, because it catches us off guard and then it can be really triggering to us when our children hurt us. But if we're prepared, it really helps. So I was ready for this to come. And what I did was I used the bed to play with it. So I would dodge, and I'd be really quick, and I would dodge and get out of the way so that she wasn't able to actually pinch or bite me. But then I would keep coming back with affection. So I'd dodge out the way of her hurts, but then I would come back and I'd grab her hand and I'd say, oh, that pinchy hand, it just makes me want to kiss it all over. And I'd try and kiss her hand all over. But again, if she tried to get it away, just remembering that, you know, I'm playing the weaker role, so I can't actually grab her hand. You know, I wouldn't actually force the hand. I'd be playfully playing the weaker role, but trying to get the hand. Oh, I just want to kiss it. And I'm going to chase it all over the bed. So we did this for about 20 minutes, I think, 15, 20 minutes. And she kept trying to hurt me. And I kept getting out of the way. And I kept just coming back with love and affection. I'd nuzzle her tummy and you know, that arm, that hand. I want to just like, you know, all of that. Just keep coming back with love and affection and playfulness. And what this did, it was fascinating. What this did was actually it made her angrier. And what I get was that when a child bites or hits or pinches, it's like a repression of their feelings. So when she didn't do that anymore, when she couldn't do that anymore, she had to actually feel her feelings more, that anger inside her. So she actually got angrier, which was fine. I was completely fine with her feeling angry. So yeah, so as I said, we did that for about 20 minutes. And then every time I came back with love and affection. And then she wanted to, then she wanted to go down and have breakfast. So we went down and had breakfast. And then that morning, we went to a family yoga session. And halfway through the class, the children had to get a mat. And she wanted a blue mat. And someone else got the blue mat, so she couldn't have the blue mat. Now, in the past, she wouldn't have cared about the colour of mat. It really wasn't a thing for her to ever worry about what colour mat she got. But she got really upset because she couldn't have this blue mat. And what I saw was I thought, this is the broken cookie. So it's not really about the mat. It's about the mat. It's a pretext for her to get some feelings out here. So I took her to the side of the class so no one could distract her from crying. And she cried hard for about 5 minutes about how much she wanted that blue mat. It was so sweet. And I just listened to her and said, I know you really, really wanted that blue mat. And then after about 5 minutes, she was done. She'd released her feelings. She was happy. She went back, picked up a green mat and carried on with the class. And then that was it. It was like, that day there was no more biting, no more pinching. I'm not saying it was totally gone. We did do some work. We did do some further work with her fears. to really lift that aggression to go for good. But that was a significant part of helping her feel what was underneath that aggression. Yeah, and just to say that I feel that this period when she was really aggressive was her working on her birth trauma, because that was the biggest trauma she'd had in her life. Yeah, we had a very difficult time with her coming out. And I believe that separation then triggered back those feelings from her birth. I can't know that, but that was my guess, because that was the only kind of trauma that she'd had in her life up till then. So yeah, so I've got one little more share, and then I'm going to open, what time is it? It's almost 11:30. And then I'm going to open up to see if anyone wants to ask questions. So another story I want to share is helping her aggression towards her dad. So that was aggression towards me. And then when she was 5, her and her dad became quite disconnected. We'd recently moved house. He'd been, as I say, he'd been very stressed finishing his PhD. And I think that had quite an impact on their relationship. And their relationship wasn't going well. And she would hit him, and she would call him names. And he wasn't dealing very well with this. It was really stimulating stuff from his childhood when he'd been bullied, and he doesn't have a listening partner, so he wasn't able to work on this in himself. So I took it on. I actually talked to Patty about what to do, and I took this on as a project. And what I would do is that every time, this is what Patty told me to do, and it was fantastic. It worked so well. Every time she would be aggressive towards her dad, I would get in there. So say she went to hit his arm, I'd be ready again, and I'd jump in there and I'd say, oh, no, sweetie, no. This is how we touch daddy. Look, lovely daddy. Let's stroke daddy, lovely daddy. And she would just have this glint and this giggle in her eye. She absolutely loved it. Okay, mummy, okay. And then I'd let go. Okay, you do it now. And then she'd go to hit him. She'd go, okay, mummy, no, that's what I'm going to do. And then she'd go to hit him again, and I'd go in there again, and I go, oh, no, let's stroke daddy, lovely daddy. And she would giggle, and we'd do that over and over again, and she would giggle, and he'd giggle. He really enjoyed it. She'd giggle and giggle, and just release her tension. And her tension about, her fear was about not being connected to him. So this really helped bring the connection back. And then when she'd say words to him, like stupid daddy or whatever, when you're 5, there wasn't that much words coming out of her mouth. I'd say, no, that's not what you say to daddy. You say, lovely daddy, oh, lovely daddy. And she'd say, all right, mummy. And then she'd go, stupid daddy, oh, no, and I'd do it over and over again. And just a few goes of that completely transformed their relationship. They were just like best friends again. No more hitting, no more calling that. I was amazed at how quickly that those games transformed their relationship. Yeah, it's really good. Great. Okay, so I'm going to see if anyone has any questions now. Let's see who's here. Oh, I recognise some of you from the Hand in Hand UK Facebook page. So there's Angie. Hi, Angie, and Clee, Jessica, Jules, and Miriam. Great. Do any of you have any questions? If you do, you can oh, where's the, I think you can put your hand up, but I've lost that bit now. How does it say it? Raise hand. I can't see where raise hands is. Anyway, if anyone has any questions, you might have a button saying raise hands. I can't see where it is at the moment. Angie. Oh, and Jules. Great. Okay. So, Angie, I'm going to allow you to talk to me, and let's hope this works. You weren't here at the beginning, but I said I've never done a webinar before, so this is an experiment. So, Angie, I'm going to allow you to talk. Oh, allowed to talk is not available because Angie is using an older version of Zoom, apparently. Oh, hang on, it says I can promote you to panelists. Let me promote you to panelists and see if you can talk. Can you talk, Angie? Oh, I can see you now, Angie. I can't hear you though. Are you talking, Angie? Okay, so maybe, Angie, maybe it'd be better for you to just put in the chat. Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry, just bear with me. Ah, I can see you now. Hi, I can see you. Can I hear you? Hello. I can't hear you though. It's a shame I can't hear you. I'd love to be able to hear your voice. I don't know why I can't hear you. Do you want to just, yeah, I'm not sure. Does you, yeah, I don't know. It said something about because you're using an older thing of Zoom, maybe. I can't hear you. Do you want to write in the chat box? At least I can see your face. That's nice. Nice to see another human being, apart from me. Oops. Make that big then. Ah, I don't want to make it big. Okay, there you go. So, yeah, if you want to. So we'll just wait for Angie to. I can't hear you. You can't hear me. I can see this. Yeah, I can. Oh, I can see this. Yes. Gosh. I hope everyone else can hear me. Can Angie says she can't hear me. Can other people write in that they can hear me? I hope everyone can hear me. Jules, yes, I can hear you, Steph, but you can't hear Angie. Okay, it must be something, yeah. And Clee, you can hear me and you sent a question. Oh, did you? Where is it? Angie can't hear any sound. Yes, you can type the question, Angie, that's fine. And Clee, I can, okay, I'll look at Clee's question and while you write yours out, Angie. Oh, Angie can't hear me, so dear. Okay. Oh, okay. Hi, Angie. I'll answer Clee's question, then yours. Okay, so Clee. Hi, Clee. Great to hear the daddy game. My husband tends to sit and take the violence like he gets something out of it. Any suggestions for when I am not there? Yeah, so I don't know how open your husband is to this, but I think I don't know when you came onto the webinar either, but one of the points about aggression is that it's really important, you know, that actually children actually feel really bad about themselves when they've been aggressive to somebody, because, you know, in those moments when they're being aggressive, they're not thinking. Again, I don't know if you were here from the beginning, but you know, when a child's aggressive, it's because their prefrontal cortex is shut down and they're not thinking. So it's really important, us as parents, that we don't let them be aggressive towards us. So I don't know if there's some way of talking to your husband or giving him something to read about that. Would he listen to that? Would he take that suggestion? Yeah, maybe, you know, could you ask your husband what it was like for him, you know, because often these things are re-stimulating, so there could be something for your husband about you know, about violence when he was a child. Me and my partner do little bits of listening time now and again together. He's not like my main listening partner, but we do little, and it's really amazing what comes out when they start to make these connections. Because I think unless we have listening time, it's hard for us to make these connections, and then we do things that sometimes don't work. Does that help at all, Lee? Thank you. We'll try giving him article to read again. He is going through a tough time. Oh, sorry. So perhaps he is treating it as feels he deserves it. Yeah, it's maybe, so perhaps he is treating it as what he deserves. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Miriam's saying, Angie, yeah, thanks, Miriam. Angie, I wonder if it would help you to hang up and dial again. Great. Yeah, give it a go, Clee, and if not, come back on the UK page and talk to us, and we'll think it more. But yeah, I mean, I have seen parents do this, but I think if we cannot do it, it is the best for our kids not to let them be violent or aggressive towards us, because it doesn't actually help them. It doesn't actually help them release. Just gonna put Angie back to attendee. So Angie, okay, I think when you promoted me, it changed it to a phone call, so there is no sound now. Okay, so Angie, can you hear me now? Sorry for promoting you. It sounds like that bit didn't work. I've put you back to an attendee now. Clee, I have to say I found Hand in Hand about a year ago, and I have a total turnaround with my very aggressive 4-year-old. So thank you. Yay, that's great to hear, Clee. Thank you, and thank you for all your contributions on the UK page. I feel like I know you a little bit, so it's lovely. Thank you. Let me just going through the chat. Oakley, you clicked on Q&A. It doesn't matter. I got it. It's fine. What I wanted to do is be able to, anyway, put your hand up so you could share, but I can't find that thing now. So Angie, can you hear us again now? Are you still here? Maybe I don't know if you've gone out. Oh, Angie's gone out, so maybe she's going to try and get back in. Does anyone else have a question? Oh, someone has got their hand up, have they? No. Oh, Jules. Okay, let me see if I can get you to talk. Hi, Jules.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How exciting. Oh, it's so nice to hear someone. Hello.
Hi. If you can hear some strange noises, it's because there's a baby on me as well.
Okay, I can't at the moment, but
so yeah, my daughter used to bite a lot, and she kind of stopped, and then now that we've had a new baby, she's started again. And what she does is she will be playing, and like she'll be playing with my husband. He's really good at playing, and everything will be really fine, and there's no warning, and then suddenly she will just attack him.
Yeah.
And she'll pull his hair, or like just grab his face, or try and bite him.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard to anticipate in order to get in there and stop it, because I'm holding the baby, it's really difficult. So and he's obviously really hurt by it, and at the moment he's going through something not great. His mum died last night. And it obviously really hurts his feelings, and what he's been doing is just getting up and walking away. And I know that's really upsetting for her. She doesn't show it, but I find it very hard to reach in to get her feelings. You know, she stays very cold, or but very kind of giggly, but cold, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I think what's happening, Jules, is that actually the play he's doing is actually giving her the safety to then to bring these fears up. So that's really common.
Yeah.
that actually, you know, the first bit of what he's doing is really great because he's actually doing the rough, you know, the kind of play that's actually helping her feel really, really safe, and then show him how she's feeling. But then if that's hard for him when he does that, I mean, would that help to kind of talk to him about that bit?
Yeah, I think so. If he sort of
then and then at least he knows it's not that he's doing anything wrong,
yeah,
or that, you know, because we get so re-stimulated, don't we, from our kids' aggression. We can do, but it's important for him to know actually he's doing it exactly right in a way that he's creating the circumstances and the safety for her then to bring these other fears. But if he's not able to be with them, then, you know, maybe he needs to find a different way of playing for now that doesn't bring that. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it's hard because I sort of feel like she really needs it, and I can't do that with her at the moment.
I know.
But then, yeah, I mean, she's never been much of a kind of crier. I feel like it's very hard to get through off-track behaviour to feelings with her. And so, yeah, I just feel like she feels hurt and then sort of recovers, but without having any kind of release. So it's hard because I do feel like she really needs the rough and tumble, because I did some special time with her yesterday and she just was like smashing her face into mine, and it was really horrible. I was like, she needs this physical play. But
so it sounds like she's just tucking them away again, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Recovery is not the recovery from healing, it's the recovery from just let's tuck them away again until next time. And then I mean, I don't really know what to suggest if your husband isn't, you know, up for that at the moment.
I mean, it's an unusual circumstance right now, with a new baby and death in the family, so
absolutely.
But, you know, I feel like we really want to support her, and I don't feel like we're very resourced at the moment. But maybe in a few weeks.
That's it. Maybe when he gets a bit more, you know, when he's feeling a bit more resourced, then he can you know, take that on and just know that actually what he's doing through the play is what she really needs. It's really great. And, you know, and then when that aggression does come out, it's just to know that it's not personal to him. I mean, sometimes we just need to be told exactly what to do, don't we? Like my partner sometimes just needs step-by-step instructions how to do it. You know, like, and then he will.
Thank you.
Oh, I hope that's helpful, and good luck. Keep us posted.
Yeah, we'll do. Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Jules. Thank you. Okay. Okay, what's that? Okay, so I think Angie's back. Let me just put that in the chat. Hi, I'm back and can hear you. Yay! I'm sorry, Angie, for disabling your sound. Do you want to ask your question by chat, Angie? In the chat box. So Angie's got her hand up again. I could allow you to talk. I don't know if that will take you away. Should we try it? Let's try it.
Mute myself. Let's see if that works.
I can hear you, Angie.
Hey. Hi.
This works. This is brilliant.
It is good. It's good. I've used Zoom before for other meetings, and it is really, really good. So yeah, it kind of prompted me to download the app when I was trying to get. Yeah, the thing that is coming up for me, I guess, is around my older daughter is 11, younger daughter is 8, and the older daughter typically will kind of resort to blaming the younger daughter for anything that goes wrong, or it's all Freya's fault.
Yeah.
And when the difficulty is kind of finding the space and opportunity to be able to talk with her about it so that she doesn't feel blamed, because that just makes it worse. You know, it's almost like she it's almost like, you know, a quiet time where she'll say, oh, Freya was really upset about something really serious must have happened. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, it's just an ongoing kind of thing. And the fact that you blame her for lots of things, or you kind of left her out when we went to see your cousin, and you know, you two older ones were in control. It's brought big things up for her. And she's finding it difficult to trust you, maybe. It just seems very difficult to get beyond this kind of block of blame that I think that she's built up probably over the years, to get to any space where it's actually possible to actually communicate about it, because she shuts it down. She'll shut it down, and she then will, you know, she said, oh, you always take her side, or you're not listening to me, go and speak to her about it. And, you know, I've kind of more recently in the last year or two been more aware of blame and the things, you know, how it can be easily triggered, and and it would trigger me, and so I would end up getting annoyed and, you know, whatever. But the last year or so I've been working on that a lot, so that I can stay focused and stay with her, not take it personally, and kind of say, I'm really, really not blaming you, but there are things coming up, and I really want to listen. I really want to hear, because it sounds like you're really, really upset with Freya, or generally, I don't know. And it's difficult to get beyond it just being shut down, because I think that's how, you know, she just deals with it. She kind of will have a bit of an explosion, things will come up, it'll come out a little bit, and she'll maybe have had a chance to actually cry or express things, but it just resurfaces and resurfaces, because there's not enough space, or her being able to feel safe enough that she is actually being listened to rather than being blamed.
Okay, so this is so tell me again, so the older child is
she's 11.
And what's her name? That's
Scarlett.
Okay, that's Scarlett. And the younger child is Freya. So it's the younger child that has these feelings, or the older child?
The older one. So it's
the older one.
The older one that's kind of pinning all the things on the younger one. Okay.
So have you noticed, sorry, I'm just trying to get my head around it. So have you noticed, if you notice when, you know, if you bring more do you do special time with her?
We do try and do things individually. It's difficult because we've got the two, and it can be just tricky because my husband works away quite a bit to have individual time. So I recognise that that's an area that I need to kind of make more of a priority.
Yeah. Because I'm just thinking, like, you know, the way really for children to, if you're saying that she doesn't feel safe enough to open up, and
she does,
you know, the way to do it is to add more connection if possible. Do you do play listening with both of them together?
To an extent. I'm still kind of learning it.
I find it a very tricky tool to begin with. It took me quite a while to really get to grips with it. But I'm just thinking about just bringing more play to the situation in general. Because the more we bring play and the more we bring connection, the more those feelings will just come anyway. You know, just like I showed, you know, in my example with my daughter, like when because, you know, I was trying to bring the limit, and I was trying to do the stay listening. But it wasn't really working because she didn't have enough safety. She needed more connection and more safety.
I think that's the key, really.
you know, because I brought then the rough housing, that gave her much more safety then to actually feel her feelings.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when a baby is a baby, they don't block their feelings, do they? They just come. They're just like, whoa. And then as children get older, they all develop these mechanisms where they shut down their feelings, no matter, you know, I mean, I've always used these tools with my daughter, but you know, there's society, isn't there? You know, and they know, you know, they learn to shut down from their feelings and get, you know, can feel isolated.
Yeah.
So really what we need to focus on is just bringing more play and more connection.
Yeah. I mean, I think the dad is really, really good at roughhousing, and it's almost like he's kind of taken over that kind of that aspect of play, which they get a lot out of, but he isn't as aware, I guess, of hand-in-hand approaches specifically. I mean, he's attached and very good, but when it comes to them expressing more negative emotions, he definitely tries to shut it down. And you know, there's been so many situations and instances throughout their childhood where they've been upset or worried or anxious, and he's kind of blamed and he's shut it down, and he's got angry himself, and then he's got angry at me because I'm trying to say, look, maybe if you just let her express it, it might be about the socks, it might not be about the socks, it might be a bit more than that. And his eyes, and you know, and that kind of, I think, very much has created a bit of a context of it not being safe enough to be able to feel feelings and let them out.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, does your husband, does he respond to kind of acknowledgement? Like if you could just really acknowledge him, you know, that how great he is at playing, you know, and that really is just so helpful and useful for them, you know, really, you know, it's just so good, that way of playing. It builds resilience. And then just, again, what I said before is, and to the last question is that, and that does bring, because you're building all that safety and that connection, look how great you're doing, then that also does bring other feelings, and that's a good thing, you know. That's a, you know, I don't know, would he listen or respond to something like that?
Yes, I think he would. I mean, we have our own issues, and that our own communication is not ideal, and so that kind of, you know, makes it more complicated. But there is a shared kind of way that we want to parent.
Right. I mean, I think that's it. If we go in with the, you know, coming from the acknowledging first, you know, really the flattery, you know, so that he can feel good, because, you know, that we all feel bad really when we're not doing a good job with parenting, don't we? We might hide from it, but inside we do feel bad, you know, so to make him feel good about what he is doing, and work from that platform then.
That makes sense.
Okay, we'll give it a go and let us know.
Thank you. I will lower my hand.
Great, thanks, Angie.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, so it is 5:02, and Jessica, you've asked a question. I might have to be really quick because I actually have to whiz off on the dot to a meeting. My 8-year-old is the same and not releasing his emotions. He just tucks it away, and the anger builds up until it's so huge it creates a huge meltdown, which brings huge amounts of destruction. So our recommendation in that is just to do as much play listening and special time as you can, and roughhousing, to just keep that connection built. You know, if a child's not releasing his emotions, it is because we haven't created the right environment yet. So to create the right environment comes through lots of special time and play listening. and limits as well, bringing the limits. You know, children really need those limits as well to feel safe. So yeah, so I hope that helps a bit, Jessica, and I'm sorry that I am going to have to finish now. I just want to say before I go, hang on. That these are amazing books. Well, the Listen book, if you haven't got it, that's got loads of stuff on aggression in there, and the Playful Parenting book by Lawrence Cohen is brilliant, all about play listening, really, really helpful. And then there's a book called The Art of Roughhousing as well, also really great, by Larry Cohen, giving you some roughhousing ideas. If you want to contact me if you have any other questions, then do just drop me a line. My email address is Cornish, CORNISH, @hotmail.com. No, Cornish Steph, sorry. Cornish, CORNISH, STEPH. From Miriam. Thank you so much, Steph. I always enjoy listening to you. Thanks, Miriam. Thanks for being here. We finally made it together. It's great. Cornish Steph, STEPH, @hotmail.com. And you can also find, thank you, Steph and Jules. Thanks, Jules. Yeah, thanks, Jules. And I also, Jules, and thanks so much, Cleo. Thank you. Jules, I also wanted to just add to what I said to you about listening time as well. I know it can be hard to fit it in when you've got a new baby, but listening time is just so important to work on all this that's coming up. So yeah, so if you want to stay in touch, send me an email. Thanks, Angie. Drop me an email. So just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. Thanks for taking this time out. I'm not sure how many of you were here from the beginning, but you will get a recording so that you can listen to the rest if you want to. That will be sent to you, and it will also be sent to you. Yeah, always also recommended if you want to work more on aggression, the self-guided course called Helping Your Child with Aggression. And this course obviously goes into much more depth than I've had time to today. You'll get lots of videos from Patty, and you can find that on the Hand in Hand website under parenting tools, and a link will be sent out as well with the recording of this. So I just want to appreciate how much you work hard, how much, you know, that you're just totally there for your families, wanting to do the best for them and support them, and just really want to thank you for that. And thanks for taking this time to come here and be with me today. I've really enjoyed it. It's whizzed by. So and I think most of you on the UK page, so we can also finish this page on the Hand in Hand UK page, finish this discussion on the Hand in Hand UK page. I'd love to know if you have any questions popping up. Do bring them to the Hand in Hand Parenting UK page. So thank you. I'm going to end it now. Thank you all, and see you soon, or speak to you soon. Bye.